To our television ministry. I call it our video time. My name is Pastor Charles Jefferson of Goodness and Mercy Ministry Church in Chesapeake, Virginia. I'm so happy you're with us today. I'm so happy and thrilled and excited, and we're going to have a good talk. I just feel it. I just feel it on today. This is part 4 of our spiritual parable called Blackmailing Hush Money. And you can also add to that bribery in a spiritual parable, taking those words and hooking them up to a spiritual meaning. How is that done spiritually? That's all. Now, on the other parts of these series, I was used by the Lord to preach to you. But the Lord said to me, He wanted me to explain things tip by tip, point by point. So that's exactly what we're going to do. Let's start out with this. I got in front of me a sign as you see it. Take bullying by the horns. I know you can read that. I'm not insulting your intelligence. It's just that I just felt like reading that. Well, we're going to deal with that in our part 4 series of the spiritual parable of blackmail, bribery, and hush money. All right. I'm going to let you see a lighted hallway, like you're walking to the hallway of God. You're going down the corridors. I know this is a building, a school in Chesapeake, Virginia, but just imagine with me, that this is like going to the Lord, the hallway. The more you go, the more you get of Him. Okay? But now I'm going to do something right now. I'm going to turn it dark. Okay? Going to turn it dark. Now the hallway's dark. And this is what you don't want to see in front of you. Darkness. Let's just forget right now about words we've been mentioning. Okay? Let's take this slow. For you to really get this, we got to take it slow. Okay? Let's forget the words we know. Can you do that just 1 minute? I'm not trying to be mystic on you or hypnotize you. Don't think I'm trying to do that. Do this hypnotic trance wave thing. No. I'm trying to bring you to a point. Now in this hallway you see darkness, but you see those little flashes of light. You know, this is what we don't want to see in our going to church. Sometimes church can be, because of the failure of man, little religious rules that some of them are biblical, some of them are not. Some of them are man just wanting to control a congregation. Don't you get tired of the mixing of light and darkness? Don't you get tired? Don't you get tired of a little preaching about Jesus and a lot of activity about the devil? This is what this hallway stands in representative of. And I believe that some of you are tired of that. You want the real truth. You don't want darkness. You want light. Right? You don't want darkness. You want light. And remember the seminar that I've been doing called Demons Park in the Dark? Ladies and gentlemen, just think about that for a minute. Now, the reason why I'm going this way with you, because it makes no difference if your church is called a house, a bird house. It matters if you call your church a basketball court. Do you know what God honors? Can we go this slow for a minute? Do you mind? I'm not trying to hypnotize you. Can we go this slow? See, ladies and gentlemen, basically, church is a gathering. You know how the Lord said 2 or 3 are gathered in my midst? If you got a gathering of people sticking with the truth, that's a church, even if they're sitting on a park bench. See, the main thing, no matter how you name church, revival, services, ministry, word, you want a truth speaker, okay? Forget the words for a minute, pastor and bishop and deacon. Just forget those words for a minute. You can go to a gathering and God is there. Let me ask you something. What if you know a group of people What if you run into a group of people, okay, that don't hush? Symbol of hush money is, the definition of hush money. You're using money to buy silence. That's hush money. Okay? Ladies and gentlemen, that's the basic point. It's not about the name church. It's not about pastor, reverend, deacon. How do you please God and to not see darkness like this? If you got a gathering of believers, they love the Lord, but they don't call their thing church. No. They don't call it church, and the officials are not called pastor and reverend, but they preach against darkness on every inch and every second of it. And they speak the truth, and not only that, they don't tell God, we can't speak this because the people don't want it. Ladies and gentlemen, if they call their gathering, I'm just being sarcastic, okay, Rice Krispies with bananas. If they call their gathering and you say, what's the name of your church? They say, well, you can call it a church, but we call it just hanging out. If they call their building hanging out, as long as they're speaking the truth, you got yourself a great ministry. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm just trying to say, I might have put it in a way where you couldn't understand. I'm just trying to say, if you want to grow in God, just be with people who tell the daggone truth. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm at the point now where if I ran into a group of people, they don't have to call themselves a church. Now, don't get me wrong. I honor the word church. Don't get me wrong now. I honor the word church. It's an honorable title from the Lord. But what's the sense of calling a church and they hush the truth for a group of popular people that don't want God anyway? Do you understand? I'm circling around the building, but I just want to say a few more things. Ladies and gentlemen, that's the point of fighting the spiritual parable of hush money. It is dangerous. You see this darkness? It is dangerous. Dangerous, y'all. I know that some of you might not agree with this because you're overstuffed with wealth sermons and praising and dancing, exegesis text, eisegesis text, humanetics and homiletics. But simply put, ladies and gentlemen, if you get with a group of people, you know they love God. You know it. Nobody has to tell you. They might not even call their gathering a church. They might call their gathering coffee house, the book club, library readers, watching TV and talking about the scriptures. As long as they're not hushing, keeping quiet, hush money, paying for silence. In other words, every subject of the Bible does not get hushed. That's what I'm talking about. The good scriptures does not get hushed, and the scriptures of challenge does not get hushed. The scriptures in the Bible that tell all of us from the Bible that we are wrong. Yes, we are wrong. You don't hush that up. You don't just use the scriptures that says we're good Christians and silence the scriptures and don't read the scriptures that says that we Christians are sometimes evil when we are guilty. That's what's happening in some churches today. They're not preaching the scriptures. Not all of them, some. They're not showing you the scriptures that says that sometimes the saints can be bitter and rude and evil. They hushing those scriptures up. That's why I'm saying it's a parable. Hush money is a spiritual parable of what some people are doing today, silencing, paying money, salaries, tithing, to keep the truth silent. See you at part 5.